The Montreal Canadiens in the mid-1970s had room at the inn for at least one or two extra defensemen besides the big three. And these three were Bouchard, Nyrop, and Rick Chartrand, who would play sometimes the forward line. But this guy could have easily been one of those big defensemen, but they kind of chose Nyrop over this guy. A lot of people thought he was going to play with the Montreal Canadiens. He was a late draft pick, but highly recommended by the media in Canada as being a key defenseman because of his scoring prowess and his skill. But Craig Norwich had a great career besides, not say rejecting the Habs, but not going with the Habs. Now, Craig Norwich, 5'11", 176, born in the great community of Edina, Minnesota, is an American former pro ice hockey player. He led the Edina East High School hockey team to the prestigious Minnesota State High School League hockey tournament 3 times, including capturing the 1974 title. In college, he became the second defenseman in NCAA history to lead his team in scoring and win the NCAA championship in the same year. As a pro, he played 145 games with the Cincinnati Stingers in the WHA and 104 games in the National Hockey League with the Rockies, Jets, and St. Louis Blues. Now, he's 3 years at the University of Wisconsin. He scored 45 points in 38 games as a freshman in 75. Norwich was chosen 142nd overall and was considered a steal by the Habs in that draft. He finished with 168 career points during his college career and was named to WCHA second All-Star team in 76 and the first team the next year. After helping the Badgers win the NCAA title in 77, he was named to the title tournament All-Star team. Now, the talented blue liner, kind of in the mold of Chris Chelios, like for a power play movement, opted to join the Cincinnati Stingers at the WHA, where he could play regularly rather than try to break into the Habs' deep roster. And, of course, Langley was on the move too there, and England. He scored 87 points in 2 years for the Stingers. There was a member of the U.S. team that finished 6th, a very good squad, at the 78 Worlds. Now, June 1979, he was claimed by the Jets in the WHA dispersal draft. He remained with the squad when it joined the NHL in 1980 and was an offensive force in the blue line. A highlight for him that season was scoring 2 when the Jets earned their first NHL win, a 4-2 victory over the Colorado Rockies. He had 45 points and scored 7 power play goals on the fast-skating Jets. Now, prior to the 81 season, he was traded to the Blues for defensive forward Rick Bowness, the very famous coach. He scored 16 points in 23 contests for his new club, and it was claimed off the waivers by the Colorado Rockies. He averaged over a point per game in Denver and then joined the U.S. squad that finished 5th at the 81 Worlds. Now, his big problem in his career was injuries. He played exclusively in the AHL during the 82 season, mostly because he was recovering as best he could from some major ailments. He then chose to explore his options in Europe, where the Gardena Finstyle Club of Italy, where he averaged over 3 points per game. He later suited up for Lausanne in Switzerland, before returning to Italy with Grondin and H.E. Fassa, and played with Innsbruck, Austria in 88, then Lake Como in Italy, where he retired in 1990 after winning the Italian championship there. Now, from 90 to 96, he was director of hockey and head coach at Shattuck St. Mary's in Faribault, Minnesota. He then moved to Vail, Colorado to become the director of hockey and head coach of the Vail AAA hockey program. Norwich was the director of hockey operations and head coach of that community's boys varsity hockey team at St. Paul's Academy and Summit School in St. Paul, Minnesota from 2005 until he resigned in 2010. Norwich was also coached with the LA Junior Kings, the Minnesota Rockets AAA, and Team Midwest Tier 1 hockey program. Now, at the time, the Norwich style of play kind of heralded the modern defenseman of the 1980s. He had movement, he had style, and he was part of that explosion of American hockey players of the mid-1970s. And of course, the big thing was the 1976 Canada Cup team that gave Montreal everything they could deal with on a regular basis. Now, he wore his famous number 5 for Winnipeg and St. Louis and number 3 for Colorado. Total NHL points, 17 goals, 58 assists for 75 points. He wore number 6 in Winnipeg's 79 training camp, and it was the first U.S.-born player to play for the Jets in either WHA or NHL. Now, we know that, The Europeans were playing with the Jets for a number of years, but there was no Americans, technically. Now, he played on defense with the great Lars Erik Schoberg for Winnipeg in 1980. Now, talking about the injury, it happened on Remembrance Day 1980, where he damaged his knee in a massive hit against St. Louis. Now, he signed with the Rangers as an unrestricted free agent after being released from Colorado in December 81, but never played for the parent team. Now, NCAA title in Wisconsin, 77. West All-America first team, 76 and 77, Wisconsin. NCAA Tournament All-Star First Team, 77. WCHA All-Star First Team in 77. WCHA All-Star Second Team in 76. World Championship Pool B All-Star First Team in 83. He was taken 213 overall in round 15 by Houston in the 74 draft. Of course, he was 142nd overall. And don't hold that helmet against him. That's what the helmets look back there if you're looking at his photos. Now, he set WCHA records for most assists by a defenseman in one season, 65 and 77. Most WCHA points by a defenseman in one season, 63 in WCHA games of 77. Most WCHA assists by a defenseman in one season, 49 in WCHA games of 76, 77. Now, Wisconsin records, most career goals by a defenseman, 42. Most points by a defenseman in one season, 83 and 77. And most assists by a defenseman in one season, 65 and 77. He was named Shattuck St. Mary's head coach prior to the 91 season and was there until 96. He was Vail Midget AAA head coach prior to the 97 season and stayed there until 99. He was a USHL Rochester head coach on May 17, 99, but left the team before the 2000 season due to contract dispute. He was also Cleveland head coach in the NHL in November 2002. In management, he was named Shattuck St. Mary's Director of Hockey Operations prior to the 91 season, remained there until 96. He was head of the Director of Hockey for Vail from 97 until 99. He was Rochester's general manager in the USHL from May 17th to the 2000 season, but left because of a contract dispute. Now, he was paired on defense with the great John Taft in Wisconsin in 77, led Wisconsin in scoring with 83 points in 77. He had two big assists in Wisconsin's 6-5 OT victory over Michigan in the NCAA title game on March 26, 77, which still ranks as one of the greatest moments in Wisconsin college history. His WHA rights were traded with the rights to Dave Taylor, of all people, by Houston and Cincinnati in exchange for rights for John Hughes in May 77. He also tied Gordy Roberts for the WHA scoring league among defensemen with 57 and led all WHA defensemen with 51 assists in 79. He was on the Stingers team that folded after the 79 season. He also obtained his elite level coaching certification in Latvia in 1998. Now he's named one of WCHA's all-time top 50 players by the conference in 2001. Now, when he entered the WHA, leaving Wisconsin in 77, when the WHA and NHL merged in 79, he had been playing for the Cincinnati team that folded. Winnipeg did claim him from the Stingers in the Sportsville draft, and Montreal chose not to retake him because there was no room at the inn, as we say. But Craig Norwich, ladies and gentlemen, a short career in WHA and NHL, but extremely, extremely talented across the way. In those Stingers years, 87 points in 145 games. And they also made the playoffs in 79, heavily due to him as well. And this was like the Demir's years as well. Now, he also played with the Fort Worth Texans of the CHL, Springfield Indians of the AHL. WHA 1374-87, NHL 1758-75, and he played 3 playoff games in the WHA. United States at the Worlds, 3 points in 78, 1 goal in 81, and of course on the B level, 7 points in 7 games in 83. So again, one of the best players that Montreal ever drafted that never played with the Habs. But my God, ladies and gentlemen, there was no room. Robinson, Savard, Lapointe, okay, Chartrand, Bouchard, Luthier. You had Langway. There was no room, and like I said, and maybe people were concerned about his size, and Dyrop was coming up too. So, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening, and any Minnesota college fans, and Wisconsin college fans and Minnesota hockey fans, per se. I mean, this guy was a leader. He built the foundation for the great Minnesota pros that have come since then, and Wisconsin College as well. His games in Wisconsin are legend. And if you are a Wisconsin fan, this is for you. Have a good one. Bye.